Started yet, John? Or no? Hello?
I would say hang up and let's see what happens.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks, Mike. No, and Mike, for some reason, is hanging up.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. We have with us Mike Smith. We were going to have John Curtis, but he bailed out medical issues.
He doesn't feel tip-top.
Yeah, he doesn't feel tip-top. He has a cold, medical issue. We're looking for Fru Nkimbeng to be dialing in any second now, and Eileen Delrossi.
She's here.
Hello, Eileen. So, the low today was 49. It's 50 right now, going to a high of 61, and cloudy. Saturday will probably fall back to 55.
Speaking of Saturday, how was your weekend, Cliff?
How was my weekend?
Yeah, it was like yesterday, the day before.
My weekend was pretty good. I went shopping at Talbot's. I got a lot of reading done.
At Talbert's?
Talbot's.
Oh, nice.
I got a lot of reading done.
Where is Talbert's?
Talbot's. No R.
Okay.
Acton?
Talbot's. Where is Talbot's?
Acton.
Never heard of the place. What do they have in that store?
Women's clothes.
Oh, so you're shopping for women's clothes. I understand. Please move on.
We were looking to see if we were going to buy something special for this week. Turns out not.
What's special this week?
We're getting squired down to Beacon Hill.
Mike Smith.
Hello, Mike.
I was up and out, so I'm calling on the phone, so, all right.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll have to get a mic over here. In 1536, Anne Boleyn, the second wife, and Henry VIII of England, is beheaded for adultery, treason, and incest.
So she was a little on the spicy side, eh? What was her name?
Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn.
I thought incest was best. No,
I
maybe
thought
not.
it was, she was cheating.
Yeah,
Did you say incest?
incest.
Okay.
1649, an act of Parliament declared England a Commonwealth. The Long Parliament did this, and it would be a republic for 11 years. And this is earlier than I thought. 1743, Jean-Pierre Christin developed the centigrade temperature scale. 1780, New England's dark day and unusual darkening of the day sky.
Hey, Cliff, could you tip your microphone down a little bit?
All right.
Thank you.
Was observed over New England states and part of Canada starting about noon on the 19th. It was a combination of forest fires, fog, and clouds, but people were lighting candles at noon so they could see what was going on. And it lasted about a day and a half. In 1828, U.S. President John Quincy Adams signs the tariffs of 1828 into law, protecting wool manufacturers in the United States. So that would not have been Lowell, because we were cotton. In 1848, the Mexican-American War, Mexico ratifies the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, ending the Mexican-American War and ceding California, Nevada, Utah, and parts of 4 other modern-day U.S. states to the U.S. in exchange for $15 million. 1883, Buffalo Bill's first Buffalo Bills Wild West opened in Omaha, Nebraska. In 1919, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk lands at Samsun on the Anatolian Black Sea coast, initiating the Turkish War of Independence. And in 1921, the United States passed the Emergency Quota Act, establishing national quotas on immigration. And in 1963, the New York Post Sunday magazine published Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham jail. And in 1918, we had the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in St. George's Chapel in Windsor.
I love royal weddings. So
Estimated,
colorful.
estimated global audience of 1.9 billion people.
A happy day.
Incidentally, speaking of Mustafa Kemal, in 1881 was his official birthday. First president of Turkey. He died in 1938. I don't know how it is today, but back in the 70s, he was still somebody. 80s, I led a group to Turkey from the National War College, and we did a wreath presentation at the tomb of Mustafa Kemal. Also born on this day in 1890 was Ho Chi Minh.
That's why.
First president of North Vietnam. 1891, Oswald Bolk, German fighter pilot. 1897, Frank Luke, American fighter pilot, Medal of Honor recipient. In 1925, Pol Pot was born, Prime Minister of Cambodia. He died in 1998. A terrible person.
Yeah, he didn't die early enough.
That's true. Good comment. In 1933, Edward de Bono, Maltese physician, author, and academic, was born. He passed away in 2021. Author of the book Lateral Thinking, which everyone should read.
What is it about?
It's about getting your brain to explore additional possibilities for what might be the right answer. You might have heard the expression out-of-the-box thinking.
Cliff,
Yes.
in my business, right now you're out of the box thinking. Every moment of your life, you're out of the box living, thinking. When people call me, they're going in a box. So you're always out of the box thinking when it comes to undertakers. I bet you didn't think about it this way, did you?
No, I didn't think about it that way. Which is why I'm happy with the lateral thinking approach. In 956, Robert, the Archbishop of Trier, passed away. That only means something to me because I used to live near Trier. A nice little town. Nice place to go for dinner. In 1980, Gervais Raoul Lufberry, an American pilot, died. He had been born in 1885. He invented both the Lufberry Circle, a defensive maneuver for fighter pilots, and the drink, the French 75. Today in 1935, T. Lawrence, British colonel, archaeologist, maybe the architect of the breakup of and independence of the Arab states, died in a motorcycle accident. In 1994, Jacques Ellul, French sociologist, passed away. And also, on the same day, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis.
Yeah, she wasn't, I thought she was older than that when she passed away, but she really wasn't that old.
No, I don't think so.
Only in her mid-60s.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right. And then probably most people don't know, or maybe even up to this point care, in 2017, Stanislav Petrov, a lieutenant colonel in the Soviet Air Defense Forces, passed away. The reason he is important in history is there was a very tense week in Europe. There was a exercise, a NATO exercise in about 1983, and the Soviets were on edge, and he got an indication that the West had launched a nuclear attack on the Soviet Union, and he decided not to forward it because he thought that it wasn't a real thing. If he had forwarded that, we could have gone to nuclear war. So I say, thank you, Stanislav Petrov. Did you see where former President Joe Biden has cancer?
Yes. Yeah, it's prostate.
So much for going to the doctor a lot.
They say it's fairly aggressive, but they can treat it because it's with hormones or whatever, when I was reading the article.
Yeah. He's been out of office 4 months.
Tip the mic up a little bit now.
All right. He's been out of office 4 months and should be settling into his post-retirement activities, and now this comes along. And having just...
Yeah, it's unfortunate that, but it looks like they caught it as early as you could catch it, and they said they can treat it. So, prostate is a pretty common for men as they get older.
Yeah.
But I'm more concerned about all the stuff now coming out with him, with all the, they've been playing the sound when he had the interview with her, and that really looked really bad. So reading it was bad, but hearing it was worse.
I was, I had a cancer scare about a month ago. I'd been treated for colon cancer 11 years ago. They did just a standard screen, and my indicator, which should have been under 2.5, was 11.7 or something. So that catches your attention. I had 2 CAT scans, an MRI, a colonoscopy, an upper endoscopy. Just a lot of time with medical people. But it seems no issue, so I can understand how they might be a little tense.
Well,
It's
that's why I
disruptive.
just want to emphasize to anybody listening out there, you need to go to your doctors on a regular basis. And if something doesn't feel right, go see your doctor. Because if you continue to put it off and wait, that's when things can get to a point where it can't be treated, or, it could have been treated if you went earlier. Regular screenings are important. I mean, I go every 6 months to see my doctor on a regular basis. I don't have any health issues, but I still go to see him. And if I have any issues, I mention it. You have to be honest with your doctor. Tell them if anything's bothering you, because you know yourself, your own body, and what's going on better than anybody else. So that's my public service announcement to everybody there for help.
So, 3 comments from the audience. Good morning. I hope Mr. Curtis gets better. We'll miss his fire and passion this morning. I asked him if he wanted to Zoom, but he hasn't responded, so maybe he went back to bed. I hope President Biden has a full recovery and gets healthy. Talbot Street, another pothole filled with horrible sidewalks. Back to you, Cliff.
Hello, Fru.
Good morning, Cliff. The audio is kind of breaking. Do you want me to call?
Yes. That'd be good. I'll be looking for your call. And hope I don't screw it up this time. So,
Yeah, can you hear me?
yes.
The audio is not very clear.
Okay, look at voice. We're gonna knock this stuff off, okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Nobody else can hear either one of us. We can't hear anybody else.
Because knock this baloney off. If you can't hear, send me a text. Because this baloney of saying, can you hear me? People just change the channel. If you can't hear me, text me. We'll work on the text. Thank you. Eileen, are you here now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I sent you a chat that the audio was not good, but I did not text you.
I got you.
I can hear you very well. Eileen, I don't know if you hear me.
I hear you.
I'll call Fru.
It is broken up. John said to text him.
So, Eileen, you want to make a comment on poor Joe Biden? Hello, Eileen. Okay. Mike, did you see where Harvard picked up a...
Yes, John? Yes.
Please not.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Please don't say that anymore. If you have a
problem with the audio, just text me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Cliff, I saw that about the Magna Carta. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How is that? That's like the diamond in the rough analogy. You go to a garage sale and you pick up some famous painting. I'm surprised that they didn't realize that they had that. with all the intelligent people at Harvard and highly educated people at Harvard, that they've had it all this time and they didn't know that it was one of the original ones. But it is quite a find for them to have it.
Yes, it is. For a law school, this is a magnificent artifact. The Magna Carta being, in my mind, being very important to the development of where we are today politically. So.
I just want to put this up for a second. We have a beautiful sky this morning. We're going to have a beautiful day. I don't know if it's going to be toasty. We got a beautiful sky. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay. So it's dated from 1300. Someone quipped that maybe they could sell it on Facebook or eBay and make up for all the money they've lost from the government.
What about your backpack? Your baseball bat? But I can just put that on my back. Which one do you have this thing in?
All right. So,
Do you have anything else in there?
the House Committee voted last night to approve President Trump's big, beautiful bill. Now we'll see if they can get it through the House.
What'd you say? This is how you were sleeping.
All right. Everyone hang on.
That's
delicious. And I had to take me and my dad had to take your shoe. Like a little kid.
Okay, Fru.
Hello? Oh, yes,
Good.
I can hear you now.
All right, well, shut off your microphone, please.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. So,
No,
the-
he's got too many mics. He still has the mic on YouTube going. He still has the mic going on
right.
Zoom. I'll tell him ask to. I'm getting way too much from him.
Fru, I think we're picking up not just your phone call, but your microphone.
A second audio.
My microphone is off.
Okay.
On my computer.
It's sounding good now. So, we're talking about Trump's big, beautiful bill. I'm not sure if people understand that if it fails, the taxes are going to go up for those of us in the middle class. But we'll see how that goes.
Do you think that's not going to happen? The taxes are going to go up for us. Oh, don't worry, but just the rich people are paying all the bills. That's baloney. We're paying. The middle class pays the bills. Don't forget how healthy Joe Biden was 90 days ago.
Half the taxes are paid by the top 5%.
And what would they do without middle class taxes?
Be deeper in debt.
Okay, they need our taxes. Meaning the they is the federal government.
Okay, did anyone see where somebody using ground penetrating radar claims to have discovered the remains of Noah's Ark out there near Mount Ararat in eastern Turkey?
I'd like to see that exhumed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did, Cliff, I did see that article and read it. And they said that the radar is, it's the shape of the ship. There's been a lot of, it's been breaking down the ship. I'm trying to think of the right term to use. That it's not all there like it used to be, but they're looking at the different levels and the size matches up to what was mentioned in the Bible. So it'll be interesting if they spend some more time looking there and trying to get more information. But it is in the right area from what the Bible says.
Yeah, I think so. Fru, you got any thoughts on this?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Well, no thoughts. You know, in the age of AI, everything is questionable, and knowing how things have been before manipulated until it's discovered later on. Nowadays, everything is questionable until you cannot believe, you don't even know what you believe.
Yeah, well, that's
And-
true.
From Jay, he says, of course taxes are going up. Don't listen to what the crooked politicians are saying. You have to insert the media as well, Jay. They all admit we need more money. There's only one way to get it. Good point. Thank you. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay.
The media doesn't investigate anything. Before yesteryear, when 60 Minutes showed up at your door, you knew there was going to be an investigation. Channel 5 would look into things. 7 goes after you. That doesn't happen anymore. The media is falling down on their duty. They go like, we don't have the money. Well, stop paying people wicked big salaries and do your job. Do some investigating. Thoughts? I guess there aren't any. Thank you, Cliff.
I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed in the media with the days of Jack Anderson are gone. Speaking of weird, the former FBI Director James Comey posted a photo of some seashells reading 8647. Is it?
They didn't take that too well down in Washington. What a stupid thing to do. I got your 6, says the Republican Party. We have your 6.
It's interesting that this came out, that he posted it just as his new book is coming out. I just don't think he thought he would get the backlash that he's getting on this. I mean, the guy's not stupid. And I think that he has, he did this thinking that people would be talking about it. I didn't realize how people were going to take it, or even the FBI or Secret Service is going to look at it. But for him to say he didn't understand what that meant, he's either lying or he's really stupid. I mean, and I can't believe he's stupid heading up the FBI before. So he knew exactly what he was doing, and he should get some grief for that.
Yeah. Fru, you got any thoughts on this one?
No, what is it, Cliff?
That the former FBI Director James Comey had posted a photo of some seashells that were arranged on a beach to say 8647, with 86 being taken as to kill something. Originally came from, I think, restaurants where when you cut someone off because they'd had too much to drink, they were 86th. And then it's expanded to include rubbing someone out. So 86, 47, 47 in reference to the current Trump administration. It just seemed...
Well, I mean, I cannot say anything coming from the FBI. There are people who know a lot, they know so many things that are from the surface we don't know. So that could just be the tip of the iceberg, what he is saying from his own vantage point and his experience. I don't think none of us here have the knowledge and have been where he has been and what he has seen and what he knows.
Yeah. Well, he did get interviewed by the Secret Service, so...
Yeah, I gotta talk in on this one. For him to say he didn't know what 86 means he's lying. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, the guy was the head of the FBI. They deal with all kinds of crimes and things going on. He had to know what 8647 means. I mean, he was the head of the FBI. I mean, I could talk to friends of mine if I say, hey, we're going to 86 that person, they would know what I'm referring to. I mean, they would know it right away. So to say 86-47 for him to say I didn't know what that meant is just a lie.
So a comment from the audience, you are correct, Mr. McDee. The media are equally as corrupt and not doing their job. Thanks for your comment. Back to you.
I believe with you, Mike, 100%. Because what FBI says, we don't believe it until 50 years after, before the truth comes out. So he's simply speaking the language of the institution that he came from and he once led.
Yeah. He did this to draw attention to himself because he's got a new book coming out, and he thought it was something cute, and he didn't realize that people aren't looking at it as being cute. He's doing it to drive attention to him because he's got a new book coming out.
Hey, Cliff, you got the Mexican Navy on your itinerary over there?
I mean, nothing is going to happen to him. They went and interviewed him. They're going to take their notes, and they're going to file it, and that's going to be the end of it. But he got what he wanted because he drove a lot of news to his attention. And it was mentioned in most of the articles that he had a new book coming out.
So, I want to go back a little bit, that President Trump went to the Middle East, and he supposedly said to the people in the Middle East, no more lectures on how to live, and the New York Times says it resonated in the Middle East. So, Fru, you got some thoughts on that?
Well, clearly, I don't know what you said. Because the thing is, our actions, our words are different from what we do. We can go around saying all these things that please people now, but when it comes for us taking our actions to that would suit our interest, all those things go through the world, through the window. Because if you see, I mean, what else have we not said? We said things in Libya to Gaddafi to disarm his nuke, and so many other places. They believed that and they were celebrating. But down the line, they found out that it was just a trap. And the world is really very, very not believable of whatever is going. They are just flowing with the wind and knowing that anytime the wind can change, the temperature can change, and your body can feel the cold or feel the heat.
So you had a little video clip from somebody who was disparaging President Trump's visit, but I couldn't figure out who that Arab person was. Do you know who that was?
I don't equally know, Cliff. Like I said, even I myself, I watched that, and I'm equally saying that nowadays with AI, you never can really believe what you see and what you hear. And there are some people who can vilify things and twist things to suit their message. So some of those things that come across, they look so natural. It's also good that we take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I was hopeful about his trip because it seemed like people were welcoming him. And then, did the Trump administration have any role to play in tamping down the conflict between India and Pakistan? For a while, I thought it could get worse, but now it seems to have gone away.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there was stuff in the background that they worked on. They don't want them fighting. But I try to look at the bigger picture, what Trump's doing. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. There's a lot of those countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Syria, all those countries do not like Iran. They are not. They are very concerned about how Iran acts So if he can join all them together and trade with Israel and everybody to get along, then that'll be a much safer world. And I just think that him making these deals will help in the overall picture, because that's a very volatile area. And if you can calm that all down, everybody else will feel more at ease on what's going on in the world. And, Iran is still a big problem, and that's going to have to be dealt with. And I have a feeling that it's going to have to be dealt with violently. Unfortunately, I just don't trust them to keep any deals with nuclear weapons or any of that stuff.
And on that note, Mike, I think that language is that we are sounding the drums of war. And that is exactly how it started before we go to Iraq. Anyone listening that kind of a speech should think of how far things have happened. When once that idea is brewing, they plant it that way, and they will sell it and sell it and sell it. You see, I think, was it just last month, the foreign minister of Iran who visited Saudi Arabia? Those guys, they know it better than we coming from 1,000 miles and selling our own stories to change the narrative.
Yeah.
I believe that the people of Iran want more freedom and want to have a more open society. But unfortunately, the people that are in charge of the country don't want that. And, if that could change, then I think things would be a lot calmer. But my biggest fear is with Iran, if they get a nuclear weapon, the people there, the way they think, they don't have any qualms about using it on where they think the enemies are. Where with Russia, China, the U.S., European Union, they understand the consequences of nuclear weapons. And they understand there's no winner in that fight. But I don't think Iran thinks that way. And so that's the scariest part.
John.
But
Mike,
nuclear weapon also is a deterrent. What happened to Libya? We said that Libya was killing its own people. Let's go there and wave the magic peace line. North Korea has it. Have they ever used it? The thing is, any nation that has it, it becomes a deterrent for anyone to go there and cause instability. And those who have that aspiration will always want everyone else not to have it, because when it comes that they want to go there and do whatever they want to go, there is no deterrent in that nation, in that area, because the international world has collapsed now. And it's gone are those days that we need to, that the international, that countries used to sign deals and maintain them. But that has gone out through the window. And we should not always say things like, when you say, people will say, what about North Korea? What about Pakistan? What about India? That they have a nuke. Have they fired it?
Okay, I just want to put this comment out there. What was Iran doing for the last 4 years? Why didn't Iran develop their nuclear weapon when we weren't looking? What have they been doing? Goofing off? They knew we weren't looking. They probably got away with doing a lot of stuff. And so far as just Pakistan and India having a fight with one another, all Trump said was, okay, either you people knock this, I got enough troubles in the world right now, knock this off right now, or I'm putting extra tariffs on you. And they both went like, you know what? You hit us in the wallet. We're going to let it go. That's my guess. Back to Cliff. Where was Iran during President Biden's administration?
The difference, I feel, is that with North Korea, they talk a lot, but they would never use the nuclear weapon because they know that they're going to totally lose on that. I feel, and this is just my opinion, the people in charge, because of the religious crusade they have, is that the people in Iran, they don't have a qualm about using a tactical nuclear weapon, blow a city up or to go after Israel or whatever. They don't care if they die. I mean, a lot of them, they feel that that's part of what they're martyrs. Where the other countries, they don't look at things like that the same. That's the danger with Iran. We have people who have no qualms about doing something that other countries would not do.
For a less spicy topic, Qatar has offered up to Trump a Boeing 747 to be the backup for Air Force One, and there's been a lot of debate about this. Have you guys been hearing that discussion? I know that on conservative talk radio here in Boston, like Jeff Kuhner, a lot of people are saying, oh, don't touch it, it's dangerous. Any thoughts on us getting an extra 747 from Qatar?
Well, I don't think they're ever going to use that as a backup for Air Force One. That's the first thing. And, the thing is they would have to redo everything on the plane. It is an American-made plane. It's a Boeing. So, they know what it's made of. I just think it's a lot of noise and a distraction to what's really going on. That'll all die down in another week or so, and nobody will be talking about it, I bet.
Comment from the audience. War is big business. War is big business. You're buying millions of dollars worth of cool explosive. You got to blow up something. Back over to Fru, please. Go ahead, Fru.
Well, Cliff, I was just going to ask, if that was to any nation in Africa, would we not say that is corruption? That is just the media sweetening thing. Last week we talked about a young leader who is transforming his landlocked country within 2 years. And the noise coming out in the West is he is stealing the gold to enrich his family and enrich his own clique around him, because he stopped France from monopolizing the resources coming out of that area. But if this plain deal was with any other nation, or particularly from Africa, what will be the language of it?
Well, that's a good question. But this negotiation for this airplane started under the previous administration. So do we take the corruption aspect all the way back?
Well, I think that your response showed that you are just spinning it and running away from answering the question.
All right.
This happens all the time with stuff going back and forth between countries for gifts. Whether we agree with it or not, it happens. I'm not saying that that's the best thing, for Trump to say that he's going to accept this plane. I don't think it's wise to be, my own personal opinion. But I think it's more of a distraction than what's really going on now. And the media is going to move on shortly to something else. And it'll just die.
Well, what kind of gifts do you? What kind of gifts do you think we dole out when they visit us? When they visit us, we send. We're going to take some U.S. taxpayer dollars, and we're going to send you $50 million. And then we don't audit the books. There's a lot of scrutiny that should happen here, but it never does.
Go ahead, Fru.
No, he's back.
I didn't hear what you said, Cliff.
Oh, okay. My view is I don't see how Trump gets a personal benefit from getting this second 747 to act as Air Force One. The American taxpayer might benefit because we're not having to go out and buy a used 747 somewhere.
Well, how about he just uses it for the press? The press flies around in that. That's the press plane.
No.
That'd shut him up, wouldn't it? What do you guys think if we make that the new press plane? The press flies this $400 million 747. Give it to the press. It's the press craft.
So,
Back to you, Cliff.
I don't think Trump would like that because he likes the press on the airplane with him so he can talk to them.
well, I think. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Fru.
I'm saying that if he accepts they will say that is coming from the art of the deal. Everything is making deals.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if Trump can continue with the Abraham Accords and get all the other countries, except probably Iran, to recognize Israel and to trade with them and to be peaceful with them, then that's a great deal. And I think that's what he's working towards. Because these continuous wars and all that, the only people who benefit from this are defense contractors and arms dealers. Nobody else benefits. And, Saudi Arabia and the UAE, they're diversifying out of oil. So they want to have more trade with different countries. And they're not only in the Middle East, but all over the world. In order to do that, they've got to make sure that things are more peaceful and safe for investors in that area of the world.
Well, I think if taking the plane you will make us solve the problem of the killing that's currently going on there. I mean, spilling of blood, no one talks about that anymore. It seems to have just gone in the background. But day in and day out, people, no one talks about that. That is the biggest elephant, regardless of all material things that we talk about. No one can replace life, and no one creates life, and no one should be able to take life.
Yeah, I mean, if they could get this thing between Israel and Hamas and that somehow settled, that would be great. But you got two people who have two different groups that have different agendas, and again, when you're in a religious war, that common sense and trying to deal with the other side is they don't want to do that. So I'm not sure how we're going to settle this out, but cutting off the finances to Iran so they can't supply some of these groups, then that'll help in some way. But the religious wars that these groups have, that until you can change their thinking to stop believing that anybody who's not with them is against them, we're going to have continuing problems. We're just going to have it. It's not going to go away. So I don't have a solution right now, but I know what's causing it. And until we can get that changed, this problem is not going away.
John, you've got
We want it to go away, Mike. They stop selling guns to either side. We cannot be advocating of selling guns to some side and saying that guns should not go on the other side. So, I mean, let us be realistic. It should be objective, and that is the only way that we can resolve it. Because just within, there are also others that are speaking that it is not fair. There are videos that are out there. People also saying that the voice of reason should reign on both sides. And if we continue with such language, means we are simply indirectly saying that it is going on because it is benefiting both sides.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm trying to think, and I just don't know a solution for what's going on, because you got two groups that are intractable on what they believe. And when that happens, you can't find a solution until they're both willing to give some and to come to agreement. It's just,
Well,
I don't have a solution right now.
John, read the comment, and then I have a comment.
Comment from the audience. The military-industrial complex will never allow nuclear weapons. It's bad for business. Interesting angle. Back to you, Cliff.
Fru, as an observer of the scene, do you see Saudi Arabia becoming more modern or Western in terms of its relationship with its people and women, for instance? They're letting women drive now, own businesses. Is Saudi Arabia becoming a different country?
Cliff, that's a very, very difficult question. That we can sit here and try to look at areas thousands of miles away and talk about them without, and then our own backyard is also smelling the same, it's also equally rotten as it is over there. If we come home, there are so many other things that we could equally look here to ourselves and see that if we also reflect on what we are thinking here, we will all move along together, and no one will stand up. But what we are pointing over there, the same things are happening here. Indirectly, we are covering up, and not the media doesn't turn the light on that. But we always like to turn the light somewhere else so that people don't focus on what is in our house or in our backyard.
Okay. Speaking of the backyard, do you guys see where a Mexican training ship, sort of like the Coast Guard cutter Eagle, a square-rigged sailing ship, lost power in New York and ran into the Brooklyn Bridge? 2 people killed.
I didn't see that in the article, Cliff, that they lost power and that's why they hit the bridge. Because I must have missed that. Because for them to have hit that bridge, I couldn't understand how they ended up hitting the bridge. So you're saying that the ship lost power? That's why it happened?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Well, something must be really be going on, and we should be very careful, because is this not the second accident in few months?
Yes, somebody hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge down in Baltimore, Maryland, here a little while back because they lost power.
Well, same thing happened when they knocked that bridge down and wherever the heck it was and killed a lot of people.
Were there
Couple
any
years back.
injuries, please?
The what?
Were there any injuries? Or
There were injuries and 2 people were killed.
oh boy.
Mexican naval cadets.
Well, another ingredient in this whole mix is they were being, the Mexican Navy ship always cruises with all the guys standing on the masts. That's just what they do. When it's going in or out of harbor, that's not abnormal at all. They had 2 tugboats escorting them. So the question also comes out, what the hell are the tugboats doing? If they let it get that far out of order. So I hope that New York does a real investigation to find out who screwed up. Losing power, you depend on the tugs to grab the ship and prevent the ship from going off course. I only saw 1 tug in the picture. Reports are that there were 2 tugs. Terrible accident where there's at least 22 Mexican Navy guys are in the hospital, New York City hospitals this morning, and 2 of their colleagues died, falling from the rigging of the ship because that's their style of going in and out of the harbor. Back to you, Cliff.
Yeah, I saw where Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has suggested that this accident was due to Doge cuts to the U.S. Coast Guard. That didn't make any sense to me, but
Everything's Trump's fault. It's all Trump's fault.
But apparently that's what the Democratic line is going to be that this was due to Doge cuts to the U.S. Coast Guard. But the other thing I saw interesting to me is the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, says he's moving 11,000 FBI employees out of D.C. He's sending some to the states, where he says the crime is actually taking place, and he's going to move the rest to either Greenbelt, Maryland, or Springfield, Virginia, but he's moving out of the J. Edgar Hoover building. I mean, 11,000, that seems like a lot of FBI agents centered in D.C. Are the politicians that corrupt?
No,
Anybody got any thoughts on that?
It's cool to work in Washington. We're going to go to break, Cliff,
Oh,
because it's coming up on that time.
all right.
So we're going to go back to our beautiful day shot. I'll find some music and we'll be back.
Eileen, where are you? Are you still there, Fru? You coming? No, that's okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Life Show here at LTC in Lowell, Massachusetts. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. We have zooming in from Florida, Mike Smith, and then en route from Christian Hill, we have Eileen Delrossi.
Good morning.
So Eileen, the Karen Reed Show.
Oh, seriously. You know, I had to go and pick my son up in Newton last Friday at 5:30 because he had a dance. And my plan was to, because I get out at 2:45, right? So my plan, I was like, I need to burn time regardless. My plan was to go to Dedham and stand out with the Karen Reed supporters. And you know what that judge did? She called a half day. So they were done by noon. So she ruined my plan.
So,
And she does whatever she wants, unannounced, like half days. She lives in her own bubble.
yeah.
Welcome to Massachusetts court system.
Do we know anything more about the supposed serial killer scare up here in New England. The latest thing I saw said 11 bodies since March.
I think they should investigate the Massachusetts State Police Office, because aren't the majority of them women?
Yes.
Yeah, they were probably involved with, a police officer, and maybe they got pregnant. Did they find out if they were pregnant?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything on that.
I think they should investigate that first.
Yeah.
Apparently, in Massachusetts, people can do whatever they want.
Well, there's that.
Well, you know our motto, if you don't like it here, move.
Leave.
And that happens. People leave Massachusetts.
They are, going to
And-
New Hampshire.
We hold our population because of immigrants.
Who can't afford to buy a
Unless
house.
you're a glutton for punishment, like myself and John, because we're all inbred from Lowell. That's why I say that.
Yeah, well, there's those that are here because they have inertia, and there are those of us who are here because we thought it'd be a nice place, and we moved here.
Well, Cliff, that was a long time ago, right?
What?
That you moved here.
Yeah, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Right now, corruption is, do you really think Golden's worth $1,000 a day? I know you're appointed by the guy, but, sorry, I just can't get by, he's not worth $1,000 a day.
Okay.
Not worth a what?
$1,000 a day.
Oh, is that how much he makes?
Yep.
Based on a working year or a,
He doesn't work
Calendar
weekends.
year.
He won't be around on Monday. Next Monday, he'll be off.
yeah?
For the
What-
amount of days he works, he's making $1,000 a
Will
day.
we have a show next Monday?
I'm gonna talk to you about that after the show.
Oh, okay.
Likely no.
So, Eileen, have you been following Brian Koberger, the 30-year-old man charged with killing 4 University of Idaho students back in 2022?
Yes. Apparently, they ticked off the judge significantly in that case.
Yeah.
And now I'm not sure exactly what had happened to make him that upset, but he's being very strict with the whole entire court proceedings at this point, because he obviously takes it seriously because 4 lives were lost, and you're trying somebody for this, and he's not from Massachusetts, so he doesn't want anything to screw it up, but it sounds like more than just Brian Kohlberger was involved in it.
Yeah. So, and it's been since 2022. The idea of Swiss justice is sort of melting away here.
Well, I guess now that's how long it takes, because the criminal justice proceeding, which is bad.
Okay.
Comment from the audience. On a different note, why did the city councilors clap after they extended his contract? Thank you, Jay. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay. Mike, did you say something?
No, I was just splitting. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, I've been following both the cases. The one that Eileen was just talking about, with it taking 2 years. The problem is by the time they file all the paperwork, then they got to do discovery. Who knows what lawyers they've got and how busy they are defending this person, and then the court schedules. It's just crazy how long it takes. You're right, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. I mean, if Kohlberger is innocent, that's 2 or 3 years of his life he'll never get back.
Yep.
So,
I highly doubt that he's innocent.
no, we're not putting you on the jury. So, no,
What?
I say we're not putting you on the jury.
I just don't think he acted alone in it.
Oh, okay. Good point, good point. So, speaking of acting alone, you have no school committee meeting this week?
No, we have school committee this week.
Huh. I didn't think I saw an agenda on the agenda center.
Yeah, I don't think they're posting because last week was just a budget hearing. I don't know, maybe because it's getting confusing. But yeah, I don't know what the methodology is there, but last week was a budget hearing, and then this week is a regularly scheduled school committee meeting. I want to say there's a budget meeting maybe before to get through a little. Wait, this is the week of the 20th, right? I think this was the deadline week, honestly, to have it wrapped up, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be wrapped up.
Yeah. Did we ever find out how much money we're spending out of district sped busing and lease for the Dr. Janice day school?
We're not, how much are we spending in terms of the Janice 80 day school at this point?
Yeah, it used to be when they had the permission to enter that they told us how much money was involved in the last agenda that was published. They didn't tell how much money. Did they discuss the amount of money in the school committee meeting?
So, okay, if anybody sees us signing a ton of papers at school committee meetings, we sign all of these papers to agree with contracts, right?
Yeah.
And then the following week, those are posted in the permission to enter because it's our time to ask, okay, so why are we doing this, right? So I've had a lot of questions in regards to the the consultations and the contracting of services, because if we really have the best teachers here, why are we contracting anything out? Like, one of the line items, I think, for the last school committee meeting was teaching teachers how to play from the Broccoli group.
This call is no longer being recorded.
A comment from the audience. I agree. I wouldn't want Eileen on any jury where my freedom was on the line.
Oh, what? Wait, can you say that again, John? I didn't hear you.
Comment from the audience, and it says, I agree. I wouldn't want Eileen on any jury where my freedom was on the line. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay. Did you read, Eileen, about this Beverly mother who asked why her son had been placed in timeout 13 times, and the school reported her to the state and to the police? The 7-year-old boy is diagnosed with autism and has communications disabilities. She'd asked if he could be transferred to a special ed school, and the school sicked the police on her. That doesn't.
Wait. In Detroit?
Beverly, a
Well, Cliff,
suburb
I gotta come
Mass.
down on the side of the school department. The school department has everything to
So the boy
lose.
had
Turn it
autism and
somebody in.
communication disability and what else?
Wait,
And the
Eileen.
mom
Wait,
put her in
Eileen.
timeout?
Eileen.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second. I got John. talking.
I gotta go on the side of the school committee because wherever this action happened, where they're turning the gal into the kiddo's mother into the police, the school department has everything to lose by tattling on somebody. And everything to gain by standing on facts and saying, no, we did this, we're justified to do this, and explaining themselves. So I gotta sit on the side of the school department, whatever school department we're talking about there. They don't do this kind of thing very, very often. There are a lot of people that, whose kiddos should be turned into DSS because of the crappy motherhood that the kid lives in. And the school department says nothing. But here, this school department's coming down on this gal, or this guy, I don't know who the person is, and I commend them for it. Back over to you, Cliff.
Okay, Eileen, go for it.
So, a child with an autism diagnosis and a communication disability.
Yes.
A mom put the child in timeout.
No, not the mom, the school. They put him in a padded room.
Okay. And then what?
Well, she asked questions about it and said, can you send him to a special school? And the school sent the state and the police to visit her.
Oh.
And a comment from the audience, if the student is being disruptive, what about the other students not being disruptive? Good point.
So.
Well, I think, so, again, like, now we live in a society where there are no consequences. Whether you have autism, communication disability, Frank Kohlberger had an autism level 1 diagnosis, right? Without intellectual disability, which is significant because it's saying if we don't consequence our kids. I think autism has existed throughout all time. It just never had a label. And it was never considered a disability. They were just off kids or quirky, you know, but still they're doing much better than kids today with those diagnoses whose parents never, and school districts are too afraid to do anything to really, like, I don't know. I do believe school districts do need to do better with minimizing the number of kids per class and increasing the number of school districts. But in no way, shape, or form does that make any sense, because it's just screaming the fact that nobody knows what to do with kids with this said diagnosis now.
Yeah. So we've got ourselves in a pickle and we don't know how to get out of it, huh?
I mean, I think, right, like that article that I had sent you, right after, in the early 1900s, Massachusetts had thousands of school districts with smaller classrooms. And fast forward to today, it's 329 school districts that serve 349 cities and towns in Massachusetts. I may be off with my numbers there.
Close.
I think that's where the real work needs to start to happen. And nobody, like, that takes, again, like, so much work that a lot of people don't, a lot of districts are like, where do I even start? You know what I mean? We have this program here, we have this program here. But again, the programs, and this is what I've been screaming about, like, we need to say, okay, we need to have a program in every school for somebody with a language disability, right? and there are many kids. We need to have a place for kids with life skills. Every school, in every neighborhood, right? Not just certain cherry-picked places. CSA, which is the autism program we need to have. ED, emotionally behaviorally disturbed program we need to have. So it's like in Lowell, the McAuliffe is the only elementary school with a language-based classroom. And then it feeds into Robinson. Why don't we have a language-based classroom in every school in the district?
Coming from the
Why
audience.
don't we have a life skills classroom in every school in the district? I think the Bartlett, the Daily, only certain places have those programs. You know, and I just think if we need to be equitable throughout our neighborhoods, because learning disabilities don't just, if we're going to scream and shout learning disabilities and disability categories, why aren't we putting the money for all of that into bettering our school district? Like, I don't want to have to send my child to Newton every day. That was such a tough decision. It's 45 minutes away. But they've created a language-based learning center where that's all that they do. So why doesn't Lowell do what Newton's doing, right? And so we're getting the money, not wasting the money.
Okay. Hey, Eileen, you get a compliment here. Someone texted in. However, I would want Eileen to be a juror. So you have one person who sees you as fair and square.
I think I would do what I think was, whenever I heard, I would take and I would judge it equally, because I would want somebody to do that to me. Because if you listen to only one side of something, you're not really getting the true, right? There's three sides to every story, his, hers, and the truth.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to really balance that, because it doesn't always equal who a person is. And I think, you know,
So we've got
John and Mike and Fru.
We've got one more, which I can't read.
It says, our parents never babied us like the parents of today. We also grew up with big families, not one-kid households. Back to you, Cliff.
So how far out are you, Eileen?
I'll be there in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So,
Moving on.
I just wanted to add a little comment on what Eileen was saying as I was listening.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. Having served on juries, I think juries are a good thing for people to have served on a jury, because it makes you listen to two different viewpoints, and then, like Eileen says, there are points, and then finding the truth. And I think we've lost a little bit of that now in society, with so many people thinking that their way is the only way, instead of listening to the other people and then making decisions based on that. And I think people have their agendas, and they don't want to listen to anybody else, and that's why we're having some of the issues we have today in society. Because it used to have been, I really believe it used to have been that you listen to both people in a conversation, and then you try to come to a decision based on all the information. And I think being on a juror, you have to do that. And I think that, unfortunately, today we're seeing in the news these groups, it's like their way is the only way. They don't even want to listen to somebody else's other point of view. And I found in life now that I've sort of been biased on some stuff to start with, but then when I listen to the other people, actually listen to them, I come around and said, you know what, maybe I'm not thinking quite the right way on what I'm thinking. And I think we've lost some of that with all this social media and people posting all this stuff, because you don't have to look somebody in the face and see what they're saying in their body language. So I think we need to work on that more.
A good point. Speaking of having to make decisions, License Commission met last week. The police withdrew 3 items for underage drinking because of the question of were they actually drinking or were they just in the building. The smokehouse, however, got tagged a fine of $400. They had 5 underage women, 2 with Connecticut licenses that were fakes. And they said with an out-of-state license, they take a picture of the license plus some other identifier like a credit card. But they couldn't find that in the phone of the doorman. So how they got in there, did Scotty teleport them in to come in a back door? I don't know. But it looked fishy.
Hey, I'm gonna grab some airtime here. If you're done with that, Cliff?
No, I had one more thing.
Keep going.
The question of dealing with underage in our establishments is going to be studied some more, so we can expect to hear more about it. Okay.
Okay, announcements. I'm only gonna talk about food today. Today's the 19th of May. Lowell Senior Center is proud to have lunch 7 days a week. Today they have a lemon pepper chicken with rice. What you do is you go over there around 10:30, go in the front door, see a gal by the name of Tara, give you $2. If you don't have the $2, she'll give you a ticket, you can eat for free. And that's today's feedback over at the Lowell Senior Center. Over out in charming Chesford, they're having, today's the 19th, so they're having macaroni with cheese, ham, carrots, and applesauce. Same idea, you just walk in there they want $2.50 if you got it. If you don't have it, you can eat for free. And if you're under 60, you can scoot over there for $4.50 and get your macaroni and cheese. And what I want to do on a personal note is I want to thank Tewksbury TV for Brian Dorrington and Jason Marshall for coming here on last Thursday, and getting us a new connection to get the show out there. Roni Camille has been in touch with me, as Gary Balser has been in touch with me on, they're going to connect to that too. And I haven't heard from Chelmsford yet. Lowell tells me that they're not going to connect to the new connection. They're going to stay with YouTube, and that's the direction we're going into. So we should be back up to 2 hours in Dracut, Tingsboro. We're up to 2 hours this morning in Tewksbury, and I don't know what Chelmsford's going to do. Evelyn's pushing Chelmsford to do 2 hours every morning, and she has the manager behind her, so hopefully that's the direction we're going to go into. So back over to you, Cliff. Thank you.
Okay. We do have a city council meeting this week. A lot of interesting things, but nothing that really jumped out at me. The column Sunday led with what's happening with the Rourke Bridge, and implied that we're 3 years out. The surveyors are out surveying the land right now.
When the bulldozers show up, I'll believe it.
So, the cynicism aside, there is some activity going on with regard to the Rourke Bridge. They did do an inventory of hydrants and listed out of service hydrants. There's 3 out of service right now, and they've been out of service for a while. And then there was an interesting report on unaccounted for water. That normally runs less than 10% for the last 3 years. We had 1 year where it was less, 2 years where it was less than 10%, and 1 year where the accounting got all messed up and it's like 33%. And they discussed the school system missing $4 million. I checked the audit the legislature rally, which was postponed due to rain, has not yet been rescheduled, so we'll keep an eye on that and let you know. I am assuming Eileen is just about ready to walk in the door.
Yes, is the door open?
John went in your direction.
Okay. I'm at the light.
Mike, do you see where some Yale students have started a hunger strike? Over
The meal?
Yale students started a hunger strike over the question of Yale's response to the Hamas attack on Israel back on 6 October, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, there's just so much going on. I did watch the Pope's inauguration, though, this weekend.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
So,
Did you that J.D. Vance and his wife met with the new pope?
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah. They met with the new pope.
well, that's good.
All right, I'm here now.
All right. So anyway, the hunger strikers in Yale are affiliated with Yaleys for Palestine, and they demanding divestment from Israel, end of partnership with the Tel Aviv University, and any fellowships that fund student travel to Israel, and they want a meeting with the university leadership. And so far, the university's been ignoring them. But when they talk about genocide, about the people in Gaza, I never hear people talk about the genocide of the Israeli people, which is implied by from the river to the sea, that they're going to push the Israelis out. So I don't know how that works. You got any thoughts on that, Mike?
Well, unfortunately, it's the same things we were discussing earlier. They've got their point of view,
Monday.
and they don't want to listen to anybody else's point of view. I mean, I don't really think it's the Palestinians. They keep using the Palestinians as pawns. It's these Hamas groups that are controlling that area and who started the attack on Israel to begin with. So I just think that these students do not have all their facts.
Eileen?
They're biased already,
by the
or they've been brainwashed or whatever.
No, we're at the light by the eye.
They want to go on a hunger strike.
Not that one.
Go ahead. But the thing is they think by going on the hunger strike that the administration is just going to do everything they want. Well, they're young fools. I mean, I got no other way to say it. I mean, they don't understand the real world. And they're thinking just because they're protesting that they're going to get everything they want. It doesn't work that way. It's negotiations. And with all the pressure being put on the Ivy League schools now by the federal government and Trump administration, maybe a couple of years ago they would have said, oh, yeah, we're going to support you. They're not going to do it now because Trump's cutting all their money off. So, money talks. And that's how you affect people, is you go into their pocketbooks and affect it. And these colleges, including Yale, Harvard, Ivy Leagues, are all being affected in their pocketbook. And the donors don't like all the bad press, so they're not giving the money like they used to. So I just think that these Yale students, they can protest, they can do that, but they're not going to get what they want.
Yeah. So Eileen is in the building.
Good morning, everybody.
And I want to talk about, again, how low spend in Utah is ranked number 4 for education. Top is New Jersey, then Florida, then Colorado, and then Utah. And I looked at some numbers trying to figure out.
What happened to number 7?
Hey, I got a comment from the audience while Cliff is looking that up for us. How long does a typical hunger strike last until you perish? That's from Bart.
Bart.
We all
22 days.
How many days?
22.
42?
22.
Oh, 22.
It can last a long time if they're getting water every day. It can last a long time. Yes.
And second text is, we all tried any way we could growing up, try to get liquor. It'll continue to until it continue to happen. It's just human nature.
Well, also these kids are the helicopter parent generation where like if they threw a temper tantrum, they did get what they want, or now a hunger strike or whatsoever. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense too, because these kids are very well protected and know how to get what they want, unfortunately. And Cliff, what is this? I'm extremely visually, perceptually challenged.
Those are stickers.
Stickers?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
And what do the stickers do, Cliff?
Yeah.
They have arrows on them.
Yes, and indicating to sign here or something?
Yeah.
Gotcha. We have those
Like,
at
can I
work.
put it on my air conditioner and like,
Yes. You can do whatever you want.
I'm all about stickers. Whenever I do something good.
We have
We'll
those
see
at work.
what happens on these students and how long they really hold out, because it'll be interesting. But, I mean, I think they're going to find out that the administration is just not going to give in on this. And the thing is the press, if something happens to one of these students and they die from this hunger strike, the press is going to be all over it against the administration and all the others going on. So, I mean, people forget that when you make choices in life, there are results to those choices. It can be good, bad, or nothing changes. So these students are making a choice to go on a hunger strike. And if they believe in what their cause is, that's fine. But if they choose to take it all the way, the end result is they're going to die, unfortunately. They're going to die.
My recollection is, and this is John McDonough's background, Bobby Sands made it 22 days when he died in Longcash Prison in Ireland.
Oh, what about those Louisiana prisoners that escaped? It's like Prison Break. Anthony says that.
It was a prison break.
It was a prison break. 7 of them. Originally I heard 10, but Anthony says to me, they had to have an in-man. I'm like, you're right. They
did.
Who was their in-man?
Did you see what they put on the wall where they broke through?
No, I just.
They drew on the wall too easy, you know, and they left comments on the wall. I mean, it was crazy on what they wrote down and escaped on. But it's just we'll see if they can round them up.
Well, what government actually pushes excellence out the door? I mean, we're talking about bad kids in school whose mothers are probably on welfare, and they're supposedly checked on by Department of Social Services, whatever they call them nowadays, and they'll say, we don't have enough help to do our job. A complete failure. We have this prison, wherever these 10 people got out of prison, these are violent people get out of the prison, because the building wasn't ship-shape. They could pull bathroom units, they could pull urinals right off the wall and make a bigger hole and no one noticed. And so the government falls down on its duty. Nobody gets fired. We can't be fired, people. And so when you can't get fired, this is what you're gonna end up getting. Back over to Cliff.
I just wanted I read all the stuff you sent, Cliff, about the different states and that. And stable family environment, two parents, sometimes with a single parent too. When I was growing up, you know, my mom was home. She didn't work. That's not common anymore. But anyways, every day they checked, you know, did you read? Parents read to their kids every day. That was part of daily routine. You sit down and you read books. I mean, everybody did that. And back then, you wanted to have your kids reading and doing stuff because if they weren't doing good in school, that reflected on the family. People took that more serious. I mean, I'm not saying people were rocket scientists, but, you know, you had to learn. And parents took the time to make sure that you were reading. Of course, back then you didn't have all the cell phones, all the social media, and all the other things going on.
And you had two parents, Mike. Now there's one parent. And there's no such thing as parent school. Pump out that baby and whatever you want to do it's all on you. Here's your check.
Well, I think the best parent school is growing up with parents who hold you accountable and have boundaries.
Well, Mike,
I know with my son, and it happens all the time. When I'm on Messenger with him, and he will stop in the middle of the conversation to deal with stuff with his son. You know, if something isn't going the way it should be going, there's immediate feedback to his son on behavior, and I don't think that that's happening with a lot of kids. And of course, then kids, as they get older, well, you can't make me do that. I'm going to call the police. All this other crap that's going on, you know, with kids. And, you know, you have to hold the kids. Kids need boundaries. They need a routine. And that's part of the reason some of these kids are having issues.
Mike,
They don't have
Mike, when they don't have it, there's no consequences. Your check's still coming. We don't care how crappy of a dad you are. Your check's still coming. Coming from the audience, the ironic thing is those prisoners are probably heading towards Mexico to escape this country. That's from Jay. Back to Cliff.
That was funny, Jay, as well as perceptive. So to go back to Mike's point, Utah, which spends for a school year, cost per student is $9,977. So call it $10,000. We spend $24,000 in Mass. New Jersey, the best school's $26,000, but second best, Florida, is spending only $12,000 for per student. The small classroom, which everyone touts, Utah has got 27.4 kids in elementary school. We've got 19.9. The best school in New Jersey is 18.5. So, and those kinds of criteria, I'm not sure that why we're not doing as well as Utah. But as John says, single-parent families. We're 31% single-parent families. Utah, 21%. That's a 10% difference.
Well, it's also, even if it's, you know, a single parent or two parent, the expectations, you know, when I went to school, the expectation of my parents, that your job is to go to school and learn. We expect you to take that seriously. You go to school, that's your job, you know, you got to do your job. And I don't think the expectations are clearly sent to some of these kids. And whether it's single parent or not, if you have a strong single parent and the expectations are there, and they're trying to keep those on top of their kids, kids can thrive and be successful. We've seen numerous stories that come from poor families. I mean, look at the vice president of our country. was on welfare. Some days they weren't sure if they were going to have food at all to eat that day. And the guy is the vice president of the United States now. So it's not like you know, we always talk about single parent families. Yes, it's more difficult, but it's all about expectations and what's expected of the kids. And that takes an effort by the parents.
Well,
That's where I think we're lacking. The parents want to be the kids' friends instead of being the parent.
so
Comment from the audience. Presidents have 24 hours a day to think of a way to break out. Guys are only there 8 hours a day. What's administration doing? What's administration's job? Back to you, Cliff.
to Mike's point, I can remember, I had terrible time with spelling, but I can remember being with my father and going over all the spelling words. It was just something that happened to me every week,
How about if your father wasn't there?
that I would have my mother doing it.
Do you think she'd have time?
Yeah. My parents were a member of the Book of the Month Club. A new book came into the house every month. Books got read to me, and my parents invested in me learning how to read.
Because I was lucky enough to have a mother that stay-at-home mom. She would go over would all be doing homework at the kitchen table, and there were 6 kids. Would all be doing homework at the kitchen table, and that's how it went. And she was the best mother she knew how to be, and if it wasn't for her, I don't know what would have happened to me, because my father was a workaholic, and he'd come home like 6 or 7 o'clock at night every night. So it was a different time in America. Now, these poor gals who are stuck all by themselves, 24/7, watching their kiddo, it's grueling. And there's no let up. And when they get pregnant, there's no counselor to tell them, do you know what you're in for here? You should consider giving this kiddo up for adoption. I don't think that happens anymore. We'll show you, we'll get your EBT card, we'll get you a Mass Health card. Don't worry, we'll get you some free housing, you'll be okay. No, you've signed up for a life of dedication to one kiddo. And I don't think these single moms are having a happy life. What are your thoughts, Mike? Do you think these single moms are having a happy life?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear all of that, John.
Do you think these single moms are having a happy life?
Oh, well, not necessarily, no. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why they're single moms. But it takes a strong mom to make sure her kids are doing what needs to be done. Unfortunately, it's not easy. It's very hard. And, what you're saying about these moms are getting pregnant at 16 and having a kid, and they're like, oh, geez, a baby, that'll be so great, and all this other stuff. And it's not that they don't realize what's involved with that. And if they were growing up in another single parent family, mom, they didn't learn anything. So it's a cycle. It's almost like you need to, at school, talk about how to be a parent. Spend some time on what's expected when you have kids. But I don't know if they'll do that in school. So
Read that, and then we'll talk about Jim Hayes.
Home run, Mike. There's been single parents around for a long time. Back in the day, you had to be accountable. But back in the day is gone. Back to you, Cliff.
All right, so in Utah, it's interesting, 55% of the people are married. That is ahead of us. We're 46.8, almost a 10% difference. And I think a lot of the problem may go back to Jim Hayes and no-fault divorce.
Well, Cliff, we also have a very intelligent force out there. I'll take the guy that stands over at the Lowell overpass. He lives in Wilmington, in a house that's owned by a trust. He is the trustee. He and his girlfriend lived downstairs in Section 8 housing. And his mother-in-law, no, not his mother-in-law, his girlfriend's mother lives upstairs in Section 8 housing. And this is all legal. And this guy's up on the Lot Overpass many days with his sign, "Help me, I'm poor." Pretty good gig. It's all legal. There's no laws being broken here. Laws need to change. Back to you, Cliff.
But you do agree that the introduction of no-fault divorce, late 60s, made a big difference in the United States?
Yes, it did. And I think that divorce should be a hell of a lot harder than it is. I mean, I know people, friends of mine, that got divorced over stupid stuff. Stupid stuff. We're all entitled to make a mistake. And you throw your marriage out the window, leaving kids without a mom, without a dad. I think divorce is too easy. That's what I think. Thoughts, Cliff? Then we'll ask Mike.
Oh, I absolutely agree that divorce is too easy.
Mike, what do you think about divorce? Too easy?
It's a lot. Yes, it is easier now. I think some of the thinking behind this no-fault divorce is there were women, and it's mostly women, I think, that were in abusive relationships, and they had no way to get out of them previously. But, of course, now we got, people are divorcing for all kinds of different reasons, as you said, and it is easier. Marriage is hard. It's not easy. I mean, I'm divorced. I was married for a long time, and I'm divorced for a number of reasons. It's not easy, but people stayed together for the sake of the kids. That was always the reason people say that. But the kids know, the children know, and it affects them too when the parents are both unhappy. So you need to. I just think we need to look at why are the kids not going to school and taking it seriously, and address that root problem. Do the single moms need more help with kids? Do we have enough pre and after school programs where the kids can maybe stay and do homework and be under the guidance of somebody who can help them be successful in school? Because if you're successful in school, then you can move on to better things. But now we see the cycle repeating itself in some of these poor neighborhoods, and the kids lose all hope, and that's why they join gangs, because they feel that at least there they have some hope for something. So it's we need to look at the root cause on how to make, especially the single parent families, have more support so the kids can be successful.
Well, the guy that introduced no-fault divorce to the California Assembly, from where it spread across the country, had a daughter who I was a classmate with. We were both on the debate team. He was, in my opinion, as a senior in high school, a real stand-up guy. He was considerate of people. He had a secretary, he's a lawyer, he had a secretary who was wheelchair-bound in her late 50s, I think. He made sure that she got out and got a chance to go to the debates, which got her out of the house. But I actually saw the wife once. I probably had a car about 3 days in my whole time in high school. And one day I had a car, and the daughter's viola needed to be transported home, and I volunteered to do it. And the wife looked like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in a housecoat, looking like the wrath of God. And so he divorced her to marry someone else. Like I say, a real nice guy, and but he took the easy way out. Very
Comment from-
unfortunate.
Comment from the audience. I believe abstinence should be taught in school, as well as abstinence-based teaching as a part of sex education curricula. Thank you, that's from Gene Balkus. I think that we should not only teach personal finance in grade school and high school, teach relationship value in grade school and high school. It's a learnable skill. Thank you, Cliff.
Teenage births are down, and teenage dating is down. So, however it's working, it's working. So, a lady that writes about education a little bit, Joanne Jacobs, asked if we get this manufacturing boom that the Trump administration is pushing, will we have enough job-ready workers? And this is just another look at the same trade school issue. We need welders, we need HVAC specialists. I don't know if we're going to have those people. I mean, if the defense spending goes up to $1 trillion and we pump billions into, say, shipbuilding, are we going to have the people that know how to do that shipbuilding kind of work? The riggers to make things organized, the welders to weld stuff, all the other people that go into that kind of thing. Even before Trump took office, a 2024 report from Deloitte and Touche forecasts the need for up to 3.8 million additional skilled manufacturer employees by 2033. So if we don't address the issue, half those slots will go unfilled. Just not a good thing.
I think
some of that's being caused because people in my age group, the boomer generation, a lot of us were doing trades and different things like that, and we're all retiring now. And because everybody pushed so much for kids to go to college instead of trades, then that's part of the reason for the shortage. If we had had more people going to trade schools sooner, then we would probably have a much more ready workforce. But people are adaptable. You know, we've had to change in society more than once. I think, the training program for skilled trades is not as long as a 4-year degree. And you have people to teach you on the job training. So, I think people can learn.
Okay, I'm going to read a little text at the bottom here. It says, unfortunately, most marriages fight over money. Good point. A lot of marriages fight over drugs and alcohol, too. Tomorrow, City Life, we got Karen Casellas coming with Artie Santos from the Registry of Deeds. We're hoping Ned, I'm going to call Ned today, see how he's doing. Tommy Bowman's going to be, Rodney Elliott's coming at 7, State Rep Rodney Elliott, and Bob always going to be here, too. Running out of time, Cliff, thanks.
So, did you see where the DNC, Chuck Schumer, and Hakeem Jeffries have sued President Trump over an executive order targeting illegal immigrant voting? I mean, what's all that about? Are they okay with non-citizens voting?
They pay taxes.
No, absolutely not.
They pay taxes.
Even this whole thing about IDs to vote is discriminatory and all that is just all garbage. You look at other countries, they've got to show ID. I told you about New York. Basically, show up and you just write your signature. And I said, they're not teaching cursive anymore, so how are people going to be able to vote in New York when nobody knows how to write cursive? And nobody has an answer for that. So it's this thing with IDs. I mean, even in Iran, Iraq, all these other countries, when you go to vote, you have to show an ID. You are who you are. this thing about having illegals vote, just saying it. I can't believe that it makes any common sense. Oh, we want to let illegal people vote. I don't even know how they can say that with a straight face. But New York is, I mean, they're giving illegals driver's licenses in New York, and once you get that, then you can use that for other things. So I guess that just follows what they're doing in New York already.
A comment from the audience, great show as always. Thanks for the guests getting up extra early. Mike, if we go back to the Boston Tea Party, where on this side of the ocean, the residents living in the country then got ticked off because it was taxation without representation. Every illegal immigrant who pulls up to the gas station and pumps gas in their car is paying taxes. Every time they go out, if they get down to Santoros for a sub, they're paying they're paying taxes. It's taxation without representation. So I can see where every Tom, Dick, and Mary should be able to vote.
Well, we're asking the wrong question, though, John. They're illegal immigrants. Why are they in the country here to begin with if they're illegal? Why are they getting jobs if they're illegal?
Because nobody gets fired.
That's the problem.
Mike,
they
nobody gets
be
fired.
Here to begin with, and that's why they shouldn't vote.
Mike, excellence in government doesn't exist. Nobody gets fired. Cliff, you got the last word, out of time.
Oh, excellence in government does exist. The Krieger family, but
Anybody get fired over there, wherever your son's working?
yeah, from time to time.
Oh, really? How many people have been fired?
I don't have the numbers.
Probably like 1, 2. That's like when I ask a principal of a school, principal of the superintendent of school, how many people stayed back last year? I'll get back to you about that. The answer is 0. You got the last word, Cliff. We're in overtime now.
That's it.
Hey, thanks for watching, and we will. Mike, we got any comments? We're in overtime.
Yeah. This whole thing, with we'll have to discuss that more at the next time about this thing with voting, because again, if just saying the word illegal, yeah, it'd be like me trying to vote in Canada, or in Europe and New Zealand. I couldn't just walk up and vote because I'm not a citizen. It's just, and I understand we've let this happen where people are still here for 20 years and we've known they're illegal. I just read an article about the one lady, they want to fine her now. She's been here 20 years illegally and she never showed up for court. And now ICE is trying to fine her $500 a day for all the days she's been not here. They found out she's here illegal. They tracked her down. They want to fine her $1.8 million or something like that. But why did why is she still here 20 years later? Now she's had 3 kids. Now it's a whole mess of stuff. And they're all saying, well, it's not fair to the kids if they deport her. I said, send the kids back with her. They can go with their mom and then come back later on. So we're our own worst enemies because we haven't addressed this problem. And now it's gotten so big that we really have an issue. So we'll see what happens on that.
Mike, you got gigantic sunshine.
I'm assuming next Monday, no podcast because it's Memorial Day.
Likely there's none, but I will. We'll put it down as a no. I will text you otherwise. If we're going to have a show, I'll text you. Tell us about your weather.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because my son and his family get here at like 5:45 in the morning next Monday morning into Florida. So I'm not going to be available,
okay.
And that's why if you
got the day off, baby. Either way, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the following week we'll be on a cruise. So probably if you don't have it next Monday or you do, probably for 3 Mondays I won't be available.
Okay, what boat, visiting. Mike? What boat you going on?
We're going on Celebrity Beyond out of Miami. We're going on 8 days, 7 nights, from June 1st to June 8th.
Eat, drink, and be merry, my friend. We'll see you in 3 weeks.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
All right.
Cliff, you good?
Yeah.
I'm going to hit end. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.